Hi guys, it's Kamil here, and I have a top 10 influential books tag for you. I'm new here, so I haven't been tagged by anyone, but I like this tag so much that I decided to do it anyways. This tag was created by Read Susie Read. Funny thing is that I don't own any of the books that I'm going to talk about. They either stayed at my parents or were borrowed by my friends and never returned to me. But it doesn't change the fact that these books changed me and changed the way I see things. So the first book is a Polish one. It's a book called Złoto Górczane, and I read it being around 12 years old. This book had a huge impact on me. It made me world hungry. It was first of the many adventurous books that took me on a journey around the world, made me much better oriented in world history and politics than most of my peers were back then, and also was the reason why I chosen certain paths as for my education later on. The second one is The Sparrow by Maria Doria Russell. In 2019, humanity finally catches the signals proving the existence of extraterrestrial life. And while UN discusses the possibility of the mission, Jesuits prepare their own. I'm not a very spiritual person, but this book that is so concentrated around topics of religion, faith, God, and humanity took me by surprise and absolutely blew me away. It also taught me that science fiction can be one of the most thought-provoking genres. The third book is Lord of the Rings by Tolkien. Everybody knows this book, so I'm not going to explain why, because it's just amazing. It's a great book about good and evil. If you haven't read it, I mean, what are you waiting for? The next one is The World According to Garp by John Eyring. I picked it up randomly in a bookstore because of the synopsis that I liked a lot, and I had so much fun reading it. The wit, the humor, it's absolutely first class. I read many more of John Eyring books and I see some similarities, craziness of sex-driven characters, but I think this one is the best. The next one is Absalom Absalom by William Faulkner. It was first of Faulkner's book I ever read, and I was blown away. His craft, the way he creates these characters and the way he adjusts his style of writing to fit every one of them while they reveal the story was absolutely mind-blowing for me. I was too young to understand all the references, so after I finished reading the book, I went on research to find out everything possible about it, and it gave me so much joy. And it also taught me that sometimes it's really worth it to push yourself, to struggle a bit with reading the book, because the joy you feel while the book reveals its beauty and wit is absolutely amazing. And I love this book to pieces. It's one of my all-time favorites. 100 Years of a Solitude is another book that impacted me a lot. This was my introduction to Latin American literature and magical realism, the genre I like a lot. This book is full of nostalgia, solitude, and it has great references to Book of Genesis. Another book is the first one I read in English. It was one of the books in the syllabus of my Holocaust in the Contemporary Culture classes that I took at Tel Aviv University when I was an exchange student there. I absolutely was blown away by it. What Ari Spiegelman did was creating this multi-level novel in a form that is reserved for superhero stories. And it also taught me that graphic novels can be so much more than just the stories about superheroes. Thief Child by Doris Lessing is another book I picked up from Tel Aviv University Library. It was around time Doris Lessing received her Nobel Prize, and I wanted to read something of her. And I came across Fifth Child and I took it home, and oh my god, I read it in one sitting. I was so disturbed by this book. The way Doris Lessing describes the relationship between the mother and the disturbing child that basically destroys the happiness of the family was absolutely splendid. I was blown away, and it was the beginning of my love toward Doris Lessing and her books, and I was really sad when I found out last year that she died. Sometimes you come across writers that makes you feel that this is the way you would write if you had skills. John Maxwell Coetzee is this type of writer for me. Age of Iron is my favorite book by John Maxwell Coetzee. It's written in a form of a letter by dying mother to her distant daughter that lives in States. The book is set in South Africa during the collapse of apartheid, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's written in a stream of consciousness. I know that lots of people are a bit scared of by this type of writing, but this one is absolutely worth giving a shot. And the 10th final book is White Teeth by Zadie Smith. I think it was the first book, at least the first I remember, that was written by a non-white writer that made me see world from the perspective of people of color. I dislike this division of white and non-white people, white writers and writers of color. Nevertheless, Zadie Smith made me understand how important it is for people of color to be represented in literature. And I'm very happy that recently writers of colors received lots of recognition as for major literary awards, but still it demands some effort to seek the books written by writers of colors. And because of Zadie Smith, I understood that it is important to make this effort. So yeah, that was top 10 influential books. And thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, suggestions, or observation, or you just basically want to chat, just leave the comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer and interact with you. Thank you guys, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.